Good evening, everybody. The time is 7 o'clock. I call to order a public hearing on ordinance number 1163 concerning approving agreement with the Green Team for Food Forest of Todd Service. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre Grace adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution and Local Government Article of the Annotated Code, Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre Grace City Charter to enter into an agreement with the Havre Grace Green Team, Ltd. as relates to a food forest on city property at Todd Park. Do we have any public comments on this tonight? None? Do we have any comments from council? None? All right. I close public hearing on ordinance 1163. Thank you. Time is now 7:01. Call to order public hearing on ordinance number 1164 concerning approving agreement with the Green Team for composting at Hutchins Park. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the Local Government Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and the Sections 33 and 34 of Havre Grace Charter to enter into agreement with the Havre Grace Green Team Limited as it relates to composting collections with Garrity Renewables, LLC, on city property. Do we have any public comments on ordinance 1164? None? Any comments from the council? Casey?
So I just want to speak in favor of this. As an avid user of the composting program, I am thrilled at the success of it. It is approaching 200,000 pounds of waste that has been prevented from going into the landfill and is now being turned into, or has been turned into, usable soil. And it just makes so much sense for us to do this program. We currently only have one location for it, and it's down at Hutchins Park. It's very well used. Usually the bins are all the way filled, and I would like to see council next year or the mayor's budget for an expansion of the program, especially now that the cost for our tipping fees is equal to the amount for the cost for running this program, to have another location up on the hill so we can further expand the program and prevent more waste from going into the landfill, thus extending the life of the landfill at Scarborough as long as possible. So thank you very much for your consideration of this bill.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, I close the public hearing for ordinance 1164. Time is now 7:03. I call to order a meeting of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Havre Grace. Today's date is October 7th, 2024. The mayor is currently away with family obligations, but he'll be here shortly. So I will run the meeting until he shows. We'll move on to roll call. Council President Ringsocker, here. Councilmember Robertson. Here. Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Boyer.
Here.
Councilmember Snegas.
Here.
Councilmember Booker.
I'm here.
Thank you so much. If you all please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. If you please remain standing, I'd like to welcome Reginald Bishop from St. James AME for a prayer.
Let us pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord. We thank you for all you have done. We give you glory for all you are about to do. Now, Lord, we ask that you come into this meeting right now and bless those who are participating. Lord, we ask that you dwell within them for creative minds, for unity, and for you to just be with them as we unify the community. Lord, we ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Bishop. Please be seated. Council, do I have a motion for approval of the minutes from the September 16th meeting?
Second?
It's been regularly moved by Councilmember Jones, seconded by Councilmember Shenegis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you so much. Moving on next, we have comments from citizens. Normally what we do is we have these speakers forms, and we have 2 that were turned in. I don't have any that were submitted online, but after these are done, we'll open the floor to anybody. So first, I'd like to welcome Mr. Fred Wills.
Good evening. Fred Wills, 311D Red Headway, Havre de Grace. I am the chairman of the Havre de Grace Annual Community Thanksgiving Dinner, which will be the 28th of November this year. Our dinner is one of the longest-running community Thanksgiving Day dinners in the area and is prepared at the Havre de Grace Community Center on LeGarrette, behind the Meadowvale Elementary School. I'd like to thank Mayor and Council for the use of this facility. We're an element of the community projects of Havre de Grace, a nonprofit organization. This year will be our 36th year and our 12th as the annual Havre de Grace Community Thanksgiving Day Dinner. And on that theme, I'd like to thank Don Osmond, who for 36 years of leadership to the organization. He retired after last year's Thanksgiving dinner. He will be supporting his day of, but he's not as a major role as he used to be. So I'm here tonight to make the public aware of our dinner and the details to either request a meal, how to donate, or how to volunteer. Last year we served around 1,500 meals on Thanksgiving Day, prepared by over 300 volunteers. We bumped up to this number during the COVID years to help meet a need in difficult times, but this was challenging and drew away from the dinner's mission of being more of a community. We got fairly industrial about it to get to that number. This year, we're going to roll back a little bit and just prepare 1,000 meals, which will all be delivered, and enabling the community to come together and help one another, fostering a sense of unity in the community. All meals will be delivered again this year again. We deliver meals to mostly senior citizens housing, nursing homes, private and residences from Elkton to Edgewood, with the majority being in the Havre de Grace, Aberdeen, and Perryville area. As always, these meals are provided free of charge. Volunteers, if they care to do so, should arrive around 8 o'clock in the morning on the day of Thanksgiving to help prepare the meals. Volunteers delivering outside of the Aberdeen, Havre de Grace, Perryville area should arrive at 9:30 to make deliveries, and those delivering to Aberdeen, Havre de Grace, and Perryville should arrive at 10:30 a.m. I've given you all the info so you have it, so you can log it. To request a meal for delivery or to sign up to volunteer, please contact Katie Arnold at 410-652-7163. If you want to make a monetary donation, please call Casey Boyer at 410-688-3005. And if you'd like to donate food or any other goods, contact myself, Fred Wills, at 732-614-6178. I'd like to thank you for your time tonight. And to all the volunteers and donators in the past, everybody stay safe this coming holiday season. That's my point. Thank you.
Mr. Wills, thank you so much.
Any questions?
Council have any questions?
You always ask me how many turkeys, how much potatoes.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So what are the biggest items that you need as far as donations at this time?
At this point, we're starting to get the food together. The equipment we've handled, we've taken care of everything due to some different changes in personnel. So I would say if you have food goods, give me a call. I can steer you, and that's 732-614-6178, to what best you can do depending on what your resources are. If it's a turkey, I can tell you how to get that to me, because frozen turkeys are challenges of timing. You can't sit outside or all that kind of stuff. If it's canned goods, let me know and I'll come get them from you, that kind of thing. Thanks, Casey.
Okay, and that includes like your Weiss points and your frozen turkeys, or
Yep.
even pies or anything else
If you,
from that?
if you want to donate pies, exactly, call me up, we'll get them, we'll keep them stored in the refrigeration unit till day of.
Fabulous, thank you.
Good, everybody good?
Thank you so much.
Appreciate your time, thank you.
Next up, we'd like to call upon Christina O'Mara.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christina O'Mara. I'm at 125 St. Andrew Court in Aberdeen. I'm the founder of the Sea of Hope Foundation. We're a local nonprofit charity organization that helps families who've suffered from infancy and pregnancy loss. I come here with two things, one that's on the agenda, and then a week from now, we're hosting our first Wave of Light event here at Concord Point Park, and we're inviting all the families who have suffered from infancy and pregnancy loss to come out, honor their babies, honor their children. It is a free event for them. They'll be able to have luminary bags with their baby's name on it. We have keepsakes, we have messages in a bottles to the babies, and we'll be hosting a candlelight vigil from 7 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock at night. I just spoke with the president of the Concord Point Lighthouse, and she has accepted that we would be able to have the lighthouse lit up in pink and blue. So we're very excited about that, as October is Infancy and Pregnancy Loss Awareness Month, and our ribbon colors are pink and blue. But we had walked the park itself, and we saw how beautiful it was, and we saw that the promenade along the park and to turn back around would be the perfect place to have a remembrance walk. So on the agenda today is our application for that for next May. We would love to be able to have those families come back out and honor their child, and this way we'd be able to fundraise, because our organization is 100% donation based, and right now we're being asked to donate more bereavement boxes, and 60 bereavement boxes alone cost over $3,000. And on top of everything else, we also have a Bereaved Siblings Scholarship Fund that we have an open application for. From September 1st until March 31st, we are taking applications from seniors from high schools all over Maryland for a chance to be able to have a scholarship up to $800 for continuous education. So all of these things can't happen without the help from the community. But I'm here just for any questions and any of the upcoming events, and just, we're very excited. It's our first event. We're a brand new nonprofit, and we're hoping to do so much good in this community.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. Council, do we have any questions or comments? My wife and I will be there as
Wonderful.
well, so I'll see you next week.
All right, we'll
Thank you
see
so
you
much.
next week. Thank you.
All right, that's all we have for forms. Do we have any other comments from the citizens in attendance? Nothing? All right, I'll close the comments from citizens. Moving on to item number 7, appointments. Tonight we have an appointment from Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Council President. I move to appoint James Kurtz and John Muldoon to the Economic Development Advisory Board.
Second.
Councilman's been regularly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, I'm sorry. Do we have any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 6-0. See here, Boker. And next up, we have, you did both at the same time, correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not up here very often, so. All right, moving right along. We have no recognitions. We have no proclamations. Under presentations, I do need to make an amendment. Item B was supposed to be removed from tonight's agenda. And Council, I offer that as a friendly amendment, if you all agree. All right, moving right along. I'd like to call upon Will Murdoch from Susquehanna River Running Festival for a post-race report.
Hello, everyone. I will keep my comments brief. Thank you for the kind words last council meeting that took place before the race. We had beautiful weather, which was amazing, and a change from the year before. So I just wanted to come and give you guys kind of a quick update of how it went, some things that went well, some things that we need to work on for the future. So just to refresh your memory, it was Saturday, September 21st, same day as the Wine and Seafood Festival. We had the half marathon, the 10K, and the 5K. We had 1,865 registered participants, which was the largest that the race has been to date. And we had 1,613 finishers, so the most finishers for the race. This year, we really focused on trying to connect with the citizens and the businesses in Havre de Grace. One thing, Kira from my team, who is here, put together a travel guide for folks who were coming from out of town to highlight the area, local businesses, places to stay, restaurants, things like that. No discounts attached, just trying to give those folks kind of a shout out so people had a place to go and knew some good spots. We did offer a 20% discount to all Havre de Grace and Perryville residents. So all you had to do was kind of provide a little proof of residency, and then you got 20% off for the race, which I thought was a pretty cool perk. Like we had done in the past, we partnered with Beth at the Wine and Seafood Festival, did some cross promotion there, so gave folks the opportunity to come over and do the race and vice versa, to kind of blend a little cohesiveness to the two big events that were taking place that day. So we saw a 20% increase in the participation from Havre de Grace residents this year. Havre de Grace is actually the #1 zip code for the race, which is pretty cool. We also had an increase in the diversity of the race, with an increase in our Black and Indigenous people of color category. We ask everybody when they register if they would like to, they identify there, and then we track that information kind of year over year. So it was good to see that we're attracting a more diverse population to the race. We did ask a couple questions about, how long you stayed in town, what kind of shopping you did, and from the survey that we put together, 25% of folks said that they did dine and shop in Havre de Grace before or after the race. And 20% said that they did stay locally. Okay, so a couple of the good and bads. So one of the good things is we had a special guest with us in town that morning, Dina Castor, who is a former American record holder and actually won the Olympic bronze medal in the 2004 Athens Marathon, was kind of an MC, and along with Councilmember Shanigas, handed out awards and took pictures with people. So that's pretty cool. She's a pretty big deal in the running community, and she loved Havre de Grace. Kira hosted a Instagram live with her over at Bomb Boys, and while they were eating ice cream as it's melting down their hands. But she loved the town and has said that she wants to come back and run it next year. So I'm hoping that we can keep her to that. So some of the good things, I did get a chance to connect with Jeff Andrews from Tidewater before the race. So I met with him, and then Chief Crass and I met with him again. We were able to formulate a plan to make sure that folks coming and going from the marina that morning had access. Chief dedicated the resources to that, and the plan worked pretty much flawlessly. I think he said the only person that had an issue was one of his staff that hadn't read the communication that morning. So I was really pleased to hear that plan worked really well, and obviously a huge kudos to Chief Crass for putting that together. Councilmember Shanigas sang the national anthem that morning, which was really cool, and she did a great job to get us started. And again, another positive was just the dedication and above and beyond that Chief Crass and his entire team went to. I can't say enough good things about the support from the Havre de Grace Police Department. Chief says, call me anytime, and he's willing to work through issues. There was a wedding that was happening Saturday morning. Mother of the bride called us on Friday, a little panicky, and we worked it out. It was not a problem at all. Chief talked to the father of the bride and got it all squared away, and everything was great. So just thank you, Chief. That means a lot. A couple things that we have to work on that were pretty much all on me. So we coordinate to have some barricades dropped along Union Avenue to block side traffic during those beginning times when all the races are started. There was a miscommunication between myself and our traffic control vendor, And so Chief had to kind of scramble and put together some extra resources. He did, of course, because he's great. And so we had those intersections covered, but in the future, I've worked that out so that we won't be in that predicament again. And then the other thing that I was thinking of was, obviously there's a lot of no parking signage that goes up a couple days out from the race. And I think it's a good and a bad thing, because obviously you've got to give folks some heads up that, you know, roads are going to be closed and parking's going to be restricted. But I think some people just see the no parking sign, they immediately think, I can't park there on Friday. That could be a potential sore spot for some businesses. So I threw out an idea of maybe even our team creating some signage, if that would help, that kind of highlights, we're only talking about, you know, late Friday night into Saturday morning, so that maybe folks can see it. I mean, it's on the signs, but sometimes folks don't necessarily read them, and so they just say, oh, no parking, and then the businesses obviously don't want to turn anybody away. So some potential there to improve that process. And yeah, last thing I would say is 90% of the folks who took our survey rated the race as excellent or pretty good, which I think is great, and 94% said that they would recommend it to others. So I think that's a huge kudos to the city of Havre de Grace for just being a beautiful place that people want to be. So that's kind of my spiel. Just wanted to say thank you again for the opportunity to host the race. It means a lot to me and my team, and it's a beautiful place to be. So hopefully you get the chance to do it again next year.
Council, do we have any questions for Mr. Murdoch?
You had your hand up first, Tammy. Go ahead.
I thank you, Will and Kira, and the Charm City team that put together a fabulous race. I really like the changes that you put in place this year. I especially noticed that the awards were separated so that the grand winners would be given their awards and others could go to the category and go about their day, so they didn't have to wait around long. So that was a positive. And I also appreciate the fact that you opened up a new category, a non-binary, so that we could extend to our community and you know, show that level of diversity that we appreciate here in Havre de Grace. And also reaching out and changing up the food menu. I see the winners, and I should say they're all winners, but the runners of the race all were very pleased to have a change in menu for the food. They felt nourished and that there was a great amount of concern and care for non-vegetarian and different types of eating styles. So that was well respected, and I've heard families saying, we're going to do this again. And I like that it's just been considered a family event, including, you know, our Perryville family and nationwide people coming across the way. So thanks again for everything, and thanks for working together with our traffic and safety team here and for our marina, so that everyone could be treated fairly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Boyer.
Hi, thank you very much for coming and giving us this report. It's really, really helpful. I just have a couple of questions. Yes. What is the percentage of people who came from out of the area? So the people who would most likely have to, I'm assuming, spend more time here. You can ballpark
I'm looking.
it.
I'm looking at my person who knows all the numbers better than I do. There was a high percentage of folks who come from Harford County. I would say the top 4 zip codes were Havre de Grace, Bel Air, Abingdon, Forest Hill. There is a large chunk that comes from out of the area. It's tough to put an exact number on. I could certainly dig into that and then
Yeah.
get you information.
That'd be really good. And
Yep.
like the percentage of them and like what zip codes they're coming from, because that could also be helpful to us in regards to marketing with our, any of our events as well, just to know where people are coming from.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next question, so where was the wedding?
The Van Diver.
Okay, so maybe in the future, we need to make sure that the Van Diver knows way ahead of time of the date of the event.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We could totally do
That
that.
could be easily,
Yeah. It seemed like the conflict was the hair and makeup team. which apparently arrives pretty early.
That's important.
It's been a while since I've been down that road, so.
Something that lasts like forever.
Absolutely. So yeah, it turned out that it was not an issue at all. But yeah, we could absolutely coordinate with them. Would love to do that.
Okay, and I live, I was locked in by you guys where my house is, and I want to let you know that A, I really appreciated the flyer, and B, it didn't really impact us at all. We just planned for it, and we loved seeing everybody come and park, where we live. You have to be very cognizant because it's a pretty tight street, and when everybody parks on the street, your process of getting out backwards from your thing is very hard. But everybody was so jovial and so nice to each other. It was a great experience. So as a person who lives as a resident down there, I thought it was a great event, and I look forward to you guys coming and packing up the place again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Booker.
Thank you. So it does put a very big strain on our small town, our small city. We are incorporated, we're a city. It seemed like that there were mitigations in place as promised. We just need to kind of work on that a little bit, kind of brush up on those skills. You've mentioned them already, Will. So I would encourage you for next year, come to us with a plan to mitigate some of those stressors. The last thing I would do is create stress for my police department as they go forward and do great things. I also don't want to disrupt the citizens who are getting married, the Silver Spencer and the Vandiver and things of that nature. So whatever we can do. And the other question I have is, I understand that there's probably going to be some type of a high school scholarship awarded. And I need to know what's the strategy for that? Is there like a date time group that's going to be figured and presented?
Yep, so the Al Sesky Scholarship Fund handles all of the scholarship pieces. Typically in the spring is when they do their awards banquet. So I could certainly connect with them and get all the details on what's happening there and pass those along.
Okay, no, I'd be certainly curious of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But beyond that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Council President?
Sir, I do really appreciate you working with the marina and Mr. Andrews and figuring that out with the chief and everything. Yeah. That was my major concern last year. Was he was very upset about it. And the impact. I think you're doing an excellent job in minimizing the impact of the citizens, and I like that. That's always been my major concern is downtown, and I think that this is a stellar event you're doing. My concern has always been the impact to the residents that are downtown. I think you're doing a great job mitigating that.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? We appreciate it. Thank you very much for being here and give us a recap.
Absolutely. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Okay, item B was scratched, right? I thought so. Okay, we're going to go to item C under presentations, and we have a presentation here of the next piece of description, and explanation, and a little bit of background of the next piece of public art that's going to grace the city of Havre de Grace. I'd like to call forward Mr. Bill Watson, Chair of the Public Art Committee. Good evening, Mr. Watson.
Good evening, Mayor, Council President Sacker, council members, and fellow citizens. My name is Bill Watson. I chair the Public Art Committee that operates under the auspices of the Havre de Grace Arts Collective. I come here tonight to introduce you to a new, soon-to-be-installed public art sculpture. Over a year ago, representatives of the Havre de Grace Arts Commission came to the Public Art Committee seeking to install a new sculpture with funds they had accumulated over the years they've been in operation. This commission, the Arts Commission, has done an incredible job of presenting so many wonderful arts programs for our citizens. From Friday night concerts in the park, to Shakespeare, to memorable performances by the Baltimore Symphony, to the annual Children's Arts Festival, and so many other programs. They have been instrumental in fulfilling their chartered mission. At this time, I'd like to recognize representatives from the Havre de Grace Arts Commission that are here tonight. You don't have to stand. Ms. Pat Donovan, Ms. Carolyn Foley, and Ms. Pat Fair. Thank you so much for your. The commission asked the Public Art Committee to identify an artist and/or sculptor that would best represent their accomplishments and choose a location best suited for this piece, utilizing best practices outlined in the Public Art Plan adopted by this city 10 years ago. The Public Art Committee did its due diligence, and as it has with other successful installations, a call for artists and proposals went out widely. We received several suitable proposals and presented them to the Arts Commission's representatives. We were all very pleased with the unanimous choice of Goddess Freya by sculptor Jackie Braitman. We also agreed a suitable location, and that is in front of the Cultural Center at the Opera House. We're now going to show some images that I'll rotate for you while I continue my remarks. At this time, with the commission's selection in hand, it was time to consult with the mayor and his staff to present the top 3 proposals and receive their input. The mayor agreed with the selection and location made by the commission and the Public Art Committee members. Now a little bit about the sculpture itself. Goddess Freya is the Norse goddess of beauty and magic. She reflects the strength and versatility of women in the arts. The sculpture is entirely made of metal plating and will achieve its own unique coloring over time. It takes on different forms depending on its viewing angle and lends itself to dramatic lighting opportunities. It is virtually maintenance-free and will also withstand most attempts at malicious destruction. It will be placed atop a concrete plinth 28 inches high that has been graciously supplied by the city's Public Works Department. We are targeting the end of October for installation and dedication of this sculpture. We will be providing more information as it becomes available. I'd like to thank everyone in this city who have been so supportive of public art. 10 years ago, the city adopted the Public Art Plan and charged the Public Art Committee with its implementation. The first major piece of public art, Big Fish, School of Fish, was installed in 2018 after years of fundraising efforts and Mayor Martin, who pushed it over the finish line with supplemental funding and support. Since then, we have seen other major installations come to fruition. Birds of the Chesapeake, Ernest Burke, Samara on the Lock House grounds. These, along with countless murals, have made Havre a true public art destination in our region. Efforts are already underway for another sculpture installation in 2025. Finally, I'd like to inform you that I'll be stepping down as chair of the Public Art Committee at the end of this year. Public art effort and committee is in good hands, and I'm very proud of what we've accomplished these 10 plus years, and we look forward to even greater opportunities with the downtown revitalization design. It's been an absolute pleasure working with Mayor Martin's administration and having the support of so many of you on this and previous councils. Our success is measured not only by the beautiful works we see around us, but by the boundless vision and efforts of those individuals, past and present, who embodied the indomitable spirit of volunteerism in our city. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Council, any questions for Mr. Watson? Councilmember Booker?
Just real quick, hey, Bill, congratulations to you that, on your run. I know you're still going to be with the program, so I mean, even though you're probably not having the title, it was, for those of you who don't know, it was Bill who actually donated some artwork to us for the Gold Star Memorial for the stretched out flag there. Haven't forgot about that. My hat's off to you, sir. Thank you so much for everything that you've provided to this community and to the citizens of Havre de Grace.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer.
You are going to be a hard man to replace in many, many ways. So while you might be stepping down, hopefully you're not stepping away, because we're going to need you to train the next person up, please.
No, I will not be going away.
Awesome.
Okay.
And Bill, I just want to thank you for all the projects we worked on. And just so everybody knows, one thing I've learned, I know nothing of art, okay? I mean, I can't even draw a stick figure, but I know since I've been in service of the city when I was on council and up until today, that there's no shortage of arts critics in the city. And I remember, years ago we had, some artwork done on the bridge when you go under 155 to make it right on Juniata Street, and people started saying, why are the crabs on the bottom of the river red and all this other stuff. I mean, so it's like you can't do anything right when it comes to art. So, so basically, and we've had some controversial art around town, stuff like that. But my feeling is just like, let people be creative. Let artists have art, and at the end of the day, it's going to average out to be beautiful. And so, Mr. Watson came to my office a while back and said, "Well, here's 3 different pieces of art," and I'm like, to choose from, because these are pre-made sculptures. And he's like, "Well, the Arts Commission's kind of settled on one, but we'll see which one you like." I'm like, "Oh my God," right? So I mean, all I wanted to do is just make sure that it was PG rated and that it wasn't going to cause controversy. And but we settled. I picked the one that everybody liked. I mean, I think Goddess Freya is beautiful, and my Norwegian ancestry friend right here is when he knew all about her. Absolutely. So yeah, so it's I think it's great. It's going to look beautiful in front of the Opera House, and what it symbolizes and stands for women and art and creativity. I mean, that's what we stand for. So anyway, I'm very excited about it. I'm very, very excited about it. Enjoyed working with you on all the other previous projects, and like I said, like Councilmember Boyer said, we hope you're not going too far away. So. Thank you very much. And thanks Arts Commission, everything we're doing. We're going to get that up as soon as we can. Thank you. Absolutely. Oh, sir. Can I say a couple words? Yeah. If you go to the podium, they can hear you on TV. I know. I hate to make you get up, but take your time. Take your time.
While we're waiting, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to comment that I'm actually really excited about the metallurgy of the statue, about how it'll oxidize with the light rust coating that will stay over time and won't actually start pitting and degrading. That coating that's on there that you see in the picture is actually what the end result's going to look like long term. It's pretty cool.
It is low maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Alan
Mr. Fair.
Fair, 3 Concord Place, Havre Grace, president of Harmerstown Art Center. Talking about art and statues, we now have our last 3 horses in place, and we'll have that, I think, on the 26th. And hope you'll be there, everyone from the council and so forth. And their art. And then the other thing is, we're getting 3, trying to think what they call them, apples. They're 6 foot high, and they were made by an artist, and they're being given to Harmerstown, and we'll have them soon. And one is made out of hoses. It's amazing. Another one is made out of metal from bathroom metal and whatever, however they gather metal. And the other one, I can't remember what that's made of. But 2 of them will be in Raw Alley, and the one with metal, we're going to put it inside, because most of it's copper. And somebody doesn't back up there one night with the truck, and there goes ours. And supposedly the values of each one of these is about $50,000. So
Wow.
it's another asset to Havre Grace, another asset to Harmerstown, another asset to the other thing. Another thing is murals. Ezra right now is doing one on Juniata Street. I don't know whether you've seen it or not. On the one big building, it's about 100 foot long. And the folks in there that own that business, they're paying him for that. And if you hadn't had a chance to look at it, drive by it. It's another beautiful one. And soon to come, the folks, I think, 600 block of Revolution, the nonprofit, the big building there, and the one side is huge. Higher than this. Anyway, they're going to do a mural. I'm not quite sure what'll be on that building. So Ezra will be doing that. I don't know about anybody else, but the more murals, the best. I think people love them. I know I do. So I'll shut my mouth and let you get busy. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Fair. Very well. Thank you, council. And we're going to go to item 11, which is resolutions. We have 3 resolutions this evening. Item A, resolution concerning a license agreement. That's going to fall under the chair of the planning committee, Councilmember Shenegas.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement for a driveway with curb cut at 812 South Adams Street.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenegas, seconded by the council president. This is a motion to introduce a calendar resolution for a license agreement. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce calendar resolution concerning a license agreement for a driveway and curb cut at 812 South Adams Street, carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This is a resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland and sections 33 and 34 of the city charter for approval of a license agreement to construct a driveway with a curb cut at 812 South Adams Street right of way. Council, this be known as calendar resolution 2024-23, 2024-23. Do I have a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Jones and second by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments? Councilmember Shenegas.
This driveway cut that is along the city right-of-way, it will construct a 20 feet wide by 30 foot wide driveway, which will enable parking for the citizens. So I think it's great. I see a lot of houses in the downtown area have that cut, but they're not utilized. So I highly encourage this use of our city right-of-way.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, council, we're going to do a roll call vote for this resolution. Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shenegas.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council calendar resolution 2024-23 is adopted by council. Item B, calendar resolution with another license agreement. Councilmember Shenegas.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning approving assignment of a license agreement previously approved by Resolution 2024-08.
Council, Second. Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenegas. It is seconded by the Council President. This is a motion to introduce a resolution. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce calendar resolution is approved 6-0 in the affirmative. This is calendar resolution 2024-24, 2024-24. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to sections 33 and 34 of the city charter and a local government article of the annotated code of Maryland to approve assignment of a license agreement previously approved by resolution 2024-8. Council, to have a motion to adopt 2024-24.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by the Council President and a seconded by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? Councilmember Shenegas.
Yes, this resolution is intended to give the prior lease sold at 513 Girard Street to a new owner and would like to assign the rights and obligations under the lease to the new owner. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Snegus. Any other questions or comments? Council will do a roll call vote on Counter Resolution 2024-24. Councilmember Snegus.
Yes.
Councilmember Booker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Resolution 2024-08.
24.
2024-08 was previously approved. They sold the property, so we're,
I understand. All right, I'm sorry. Catching up. Yes, I'm a yes.
Your yes vote. Okay, thank you very much, Councilmember Robertson. Councilmember Jones
Yes.
and Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Calendar Resolution 2024-24 is approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Okay, item C, it's calendar resolution concerning agreement of installation, maintenance, and ownership of a piece of public art. And we're going to go to Councilmember Jones, who is the liaison to the Public Arts Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to introduce a calendar resolution concerning authorizing an agreement for the installation, maintenance, and ownership of a piece of public art.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Jones. Do I have a second?
Second?
Oh,
I don't know, what do you think, Council President? Sorry, reaching for a button first. Okay. All right, we're going to go motion by Councilmember Jones, second by Councilmember Snegus. And this is a motion to introduce this resolution. Questions or comments on the introduction of the resolution? All those in favor say aye.
aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce calendar resolution carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this will be calendar resolution 2024-25. 2024-25. It's a resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland in sections 33 and 34 of the city charter for authorizing an agreement for the installation, maintenance, and ownership of a piece of public art. Council, do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2024-25?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Boyer and seconded by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments? Councilmember Snegus.
I'm curious of the foundation. You said that it came from DPW? Is that correct? Is that a piece of history hidden beneath the sea that has been now relocated? Yes.
Yes, the crew went out there and poured it with the help of John Allen and also Roger Moyer leading that charge, making sure there's the right amount of rebar and bolting infrastructure is ready for the placement.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? It's a big foundation. It's a heavy piece of art. Okay. It's a heavy goddess. Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Boyer, second by Councilmember Boker. We'll do a roll call vote on this resolution. Councilmember Boyer. Yes. Councilmember Snegus.
Yes.
Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Calendar Resolution 2024-25 is adopted and approved by Council. Thank you very much, Council. We're going to go to item 12, ordinances. We have no ordinances this evening, but we do, when we go to item 13, under old business, we have an ordinance under old business, and that is going to go to Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, I'd like to bring forward ordinance 1159 for first reading, and this is to update the language from a previously approved ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance on first reading. Are there any questions or comments on the introduction of this ordinance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce an ordinance concerning approving, affirming, and ratifying City Ordinance 1159 is approved 6-0 in the affirmative. So this will be ordinance number 1165. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and for sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter for the purpose of approving, affirming, and ratifying City Ordinance 1159. Council, do I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by the Council President, second by Councilman Robertson. Questions or comments? Councilman Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, this is to update the fiscal year from ordinance 1159 to read 2026 as opposed to what it currently reads as 2025. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman Robertson. Any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call vote on ordinance 1165. Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shanegas.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1165 is adopted on first reading. Public hearing, next council meeting?
Yeah, wrote down the 21st.
Okay, public hearing will be October 21st at 7 o'clock, preceding the city council meeting for a public hearing on 1165. Thank you very much. We're going to go to item 14, new business. We have 5 special events. Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor, Council President, council members. There is, I guess before I go through all of these on the consent calendar, we do have a slight amendment to the Havre de Grace Homecoming Parade. On your agenda, it says from 5 to 6 p.m., and the parade will actually be from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. So for your consideration this evening, the Havre de Grace Homecoming Parade to be held on October 17th from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Holly Jolly Days in Havre de Grace would be December 5th through the 15th at different times, and it will be held at David Craig Park. And the parking lot would be closed December 2nd through the 17th. The Holly Jolly Parade and tree lighting on December 6th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The Franklin Street Market is part of the Holly Jolly Days. It will be December 7th, 14th, and 15th from noon to 5 p.m. on Franklin Street. And then we heard a presentation this evening for the Sea of Remembrance Walk on May 31st, 2025 from 10 a.m. to noon at Concord Point Park. And that concludes the events for the evening.
Thank you, Dr. Ritchie. Council President, how would you like to proceed with these special events?
As a consent decree, and I move that we accept, they approve all the events with the amended time for the parade.
Okay. Council, take it as a consent vote? Okay. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Actually, I didn't get a motion. Sorry about that.
I made the motion.
So moved.
Since
And
it's
me-
been approved, who would like to make a motion?
And I mean consent calendar, not consent decree. I did make the motion.
Oh, you made a motion.
I made the motion.
You
but
made a
we-
motion, and I need a second.
Yeah.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Boyer. Sorry about that. I got ahead of myself. And all in favor say aye. All
Aye.
opposed say nay. And so the special events that Dr. Ritchie presented are approved by the council 6-0 in the affirmative. Thank you very much, Council President. We're going to go to director's reports, and we're going to go right back to Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor, Council President, council members, citizens here and at home. Between now and our next council meeting, we have a lot of wonderful things happening, and I just want to mention them for everybody at home and everybody here. So Oktoberfest is this Saturday from noon to 7 p.m. at Concord Point Park, and the weather is looking fabulous for that. Right now, it's going to be 73 degrees and sunny, so it sounds like it will be an amazing day down there for Oktoberfest. Jekyll and Hyde is going to be performed at the Opera House on several nights beginning October 11th. So currently, and on several dates from now through October 31st, you can purchase tickets to go through the escape room at the Star Center. I've personally been through it. It is an outstanding escape room. I highly recommend it to anybody that likes those kind of things. It is Saw themed, so it is a little spooky and scary for this time of year. October 11th, there is a laser tag youth pop-up event at the Star Center that's sponsored by the Havre de Grace Youth Commission. The Bel Air Community Band will be performing a free concert at the Star Center on October 13th from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Evil Dead the Musical is running on several dates at the Star Center beginning October 18th. I attended this last year. If you like Evil Dead, you will love Evil Dead the Musical. It was a whole lot of fun. So tickets for the Opera House can be purchased at hdgoperahouse.org. Tickets for the Star Center can be purchased at starcentermd.com. And lastly, I just would like to take a moment to congratulate my colleague Bridget Johnson and Laurie Orzowitz and the tourism team on an excellent season of First Fridays. This year was a little bit different due to the construction going downtown, and I think her team did a fantastic job handling those changes and putting on some really nice events for us. So congratulations, Bridget. Thank you very much. And that concludes my comments for the evening, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ritchie. We're going to go to Mr. Boursier, Director of Planning. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Just something quick tonight. It's election season, and while we encourage everyone to say who they're going to vote for, the city does not allow signs in the right of way. So we're not out to take anybody's signs or confiscate them. Usually, if we see them in the right of way, we'll just kind of put them back a couple feet and make sure they're in people's yard. But if you're working on a campaign or you're a resident, please just make sure that the campaign signs are in your yard so we don't have to move them back. And we look forward to everybody's enthusiastic appreciation for their candidate of choice. That's it for planning. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boursier. And we're going to go to Mrs. Johnson, Director of Economic Development and Tourism. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens at home. I also have a quick report this evening. One, we released the quarterly Business Beat newsletter last week, so hopefully everyone here read the newsletter and enjoyed it. And if there is anyone that can hear my voice that is not receiving the newsletter, please call me at City Hall, 410-939-1800, extension 1175, and I will gladly add you to our list. As always, the next Economic Development Advisory Board meeting will be Wednesday, October 23rd, here in Council Chambers, 4:00 p.m. Our guest speaker is my colleague, Tim Boussier, Director of Planning, and he will update us on Havre Memorial Hospital and everything else going on in the planning department. The Tourism Advisory Board will meet on Wednesday, October 23rd, same day, 10 a.m. here in Council Chambers. Both meetings are open to the public. The Director of Administration, Dr. Ricci, mentioned Holly Jolly Days in Havre de Grace. We are really in the middle of planning out the rest of that event. Thank you. We had to wait until the event application is approved tonight. But it is going to be a great addition to everything that's going on in the city of Havre de Grace. There are events on Franklin Street, Harmerstown, Joseph's Department Store, 220 Gallery Place for the Arts Collective, the Decoy Museum, Santaland on Pennington Avenue, and the horse-drawn carriages are returning this year. So that's just a little bit of what will happen during that time frame from December 5th to the 15th. After our next planning meeting, which takes place in a little over a week, we'll have additional details. And I wanted to mention that because we have so much participation from the merchants downtown. The merchants make up the planning committee, the decorating committee, the tent committee, the coffee committee, the beer committee. So we're just happy, to have everyone on board and seemingly, optimistic about this event. We know there's a lot going on in the downtown right now, and overwhelmingly the majority are on board to see us through this construction phase as well as the holidays. Last but not least, I am proud of the tourism department. That would be Lori Orzowitz and Pam Sickenberger. Pam is our Main Street coordinator. She has been with us a little over a year. She successfully wrote her first grant on behalf of the Main Street program. We were awarded $25,000 from the Department of Housing and Community Development, and that funding will be used for managing the Main Street program and any promotions and marketing that we are doing throughout the holiday season. So congratulations to Pam. And also, Explore Havre Grace Facebook and Instagram has reached 20,000 followers. We are very, very excited. And a lot of that is due to the Opera House, the Star Center, everything that's happening in tourism and in the Main Street area. So very proud of that team, and Pam is pretty much taken over marketing for tourism in Main Street. So that concludes my comments, unless there are any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Johnson? No, thank you very much, Bridget. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And good evening, Abdul Abdi, our Deputy Director of Finance. Good evening, sir.
Mayor, council members, residents of Havre Grace. This is actually the first session where I'll introduce the financial condition for our fiscal 25. So we're long enough into our audit for 24 to give you a good indication in terms of beginning balances for the fiscal year. So for our general fund, beginning balance is currently at $2,156,800. In terms of revenues that have come in, it's currently standing at $12,839,300, with expenditures of $6,351,000, which indicates a current balance, fund balance of $8,645,100. So we're a little bit early in terms of only 3 months in terms of fiscal year. So it looks a little rosy. But again, in terms of the expenditure coming through the fiscal year, we'll see it in terms of those increased expenditures throughout the fiscal year. In terms of the water and sewer fund, the beginning balance is currently stands at $1,746,800. Revenues stand at $6,656,200, with expenditures standing at $2,404,300. I'm sorry. The current fund balance stands at $5,998,700. In terms of our marina fund, the beginning balance stands at $761,900. Revenues are currently at $172,900, with expenditures of $195,700. Our ending balance currently stands at $739,100. In terms of our audit for 24, we're currently eagerly waiting our first draft from the auditors, so that we're eagerly waiting the next couple of weeks to get the first draft. We did submit our what's called our management discussion analysis for our financial reports. So stay tuned. In the next couple of weeks, we should have at least the first draft in terms of our FY24 statements. That concludes it. If you guys have any questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? No? Thank you. Thank you very much. Remember, I'll go to Mr. Malizer, our DPW Director. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council President, council members, citizens. Tonight, 3 quick topics: a lead and copper rule I want to go over, the bridge inspection report, and a quick staff update. I did want to mention we're missing 26 cones from that river run, so we are budgeting for those, and we bought a little brand, and we're going to start branding them. So I just want to throw that note out. I thought that was pretty cool. So we actually have a brand that we're going to start branding them. But on the topic of lead and copper, 1986, Congress amended the Safe Water Drinking Act ban on lead pipes and parts. Naomi Wright, Nick Musaka, and I have been working on the report for about a year now with EA Engineering to wrap up and finalize this report that's due October 16th, that will go out to residents. And basically what you have to do is take the known and unknown lead parts underground, which is very difficult to do, but you can kind of determine based on the year that the home was built. For example, 1972, Maryland banned all lead lines, so you can kind of deduce and reduce the amount of known unknowns. So kind of interesting. We're going to do that report, send it out to residents, and keep everybody updated. Oddly enough, we did come across one of those during a water main break last week, a lead pipe underground, so it goes to demonstrate the importance of this downtown restoration project and the things we're doing to improve the underground infrastructure. So all those things are kind of connected. Second, I do want to make good on a promise I had in Bully Rock to a resident. He asked about CSX railroad bridge over a private road on HOA property that I did not know the answer to, and I did not get the resident's contact information. So Ben Maritano gave me a contact at the Federal Railroad Administration, and we put in a request for an update on that, so I'll keep everyone updated on that through the HOA. Third, we did just wrap up our final bridge inspection report. All good news from EA Engineering. The majority of repairs are cosmetic, as they say, and one example is type 3 object markers, and they're basically the candy cane striped yellow and black that say, hey, you're going over a bridge. So those are just a few updates. On the operations side, small and cosmetic repairs on some of the bridges. And then I want to welcome aboard Alyssa Smith, new driver laborer, and Ignacio Cuerolo, our deputy director. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, EJ. Any questions for Mr. Merlizer? Appreciate the update. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilmember Boyer.
So just to clarify, so one of the big bridges people had a concern about was Greenway Farms. So it's a safe bridge.
Safe bridge.
There's just cosmetic.
It's missing the candy cane markers that are black and yellow striped. It's OR. I wrote the name down, but it's in the MUTCD code.
So it's basically signage, right?
It says you're going over a bridge.
Okay, and there's no need to mark that bridge for its weight?
Nope.
Okay.
It doesn't say it's going over the bridge. It just says, here's a bridge. It's identifier, so.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor.
Chief Crass, good evening, sir.
Good evening to all. So, Mayor, I wanted to remind all of us that the Havre Grace Police Department, we are very dedicated to interacting with our community, and one way we do that is a lot of times we'll find a cause. And so we support Special Olympics Maryland every year, and this year's a special year for us. And I know that you're involved in this. So there's no one more passionate with the Special Olympics Maryland than Major Joe Alton. So I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that Major Alton, he is going to be a super plunger this year. So what that means is that on January 24th and 25th, for 24 hours, every hour he will jump into the very frigid waters of the Chesapeake Bay. And then in order to get the rest of us to come out on Friday, January 31st, he's got to do it again. So he'll do 25 plunges this year. And so in order for him to be considered a super plunger, he has to raise $10,000. So there are some events coming up that we wanted to make everyone aware of if you wanted to come out and support Joe. So the first one will be on October the 27th, and he's having this at Market Street Brewery. And so you can make a donation at the door, and then you get tickets for door prizes, and the Ravens game is going to be on. And so that the times for that are from 12 noon until 7 p.m. So, and then a very special event will be taking place on Sunday, November the 3rd, and this one's at Coakley's. Very similar, you make a donation, you get tickets and all that, but Joe's sick, and he's got a thing with like getting in cold water, because now he's drug a whole bunch of us into it. He's going to have a dunk booth on November the 3rd at Coakley's, and he has signed up Mayor Bill Martin, Principals Brad Spence, Mark Warfield, Shelby Houseman, the Vineyard Wine Bar owner Ron Milburn, Sergeant Dan Petz, Major Alton will be participating, and I don't know how my name got on this, but because I didn't volunteer, but apparently it's official because I'm on here that on November the 3rd, there's going to be a dunk booth at Coakley, so you can come out and take a turn at throwing us into cold water. So, yes, ma'am.
Instead of throwing a ball, can we pay money to put ice in it?
Did I ever tell you who my favorite council people are? Actually, there was one person at the PD that actually said the same thing. It was like, you should pay money to throw ice into the thing. I was like, yeah, you're going to get demoted. Anyway, so I think we're going to have some fun, and, so come out and support Joe, and that's it for us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you reminding me about my commitments. I'm very, very proud of Major Alton. I mean, that's quite a feat. Although, why do they have to do the dunking in January? Why don't they do it in like July? Why don't they do this? Instead of dumping in the cold, like do it in warm water, but do something like, I don't know, like put like piranhas or sharks in the water. Make it like interesting, you know what I mean?
They're not right, because we were out there last week for a photo shoot to promote the plunge, and I'm like, we're out there in October, and I'm like, why couldn't we do this in August? I was like, nobody knows the difference. It's just a group photo, but it has to be cold water. I don't know what the deal is with it, and so
Something about it.
Yeah. Anyway, we have fun with it though.
Absolutely, it is a lot of fun. Thank you very much, Chief. We're going to go comments from the mayor, item number 16. So my apologies for being a little tardy to tonight's meeting. My son, Will, my youngest, is a senior at Havre Grace High School, and he plays on the varsity soccer team. And they don't have many games. They only have like 11 games a season, and I've missed most of them. And he's only got 3 left. And it seems like every game's away, but the ones that are home across the street is when I have a council meeting at 7 o'clock at night. The first one in September and the third one in September. So I just said to Council President, I said, you mind if I catch about 20 minutes of my son's game? So that's why I was late. But I was going to get up and walk away, but my wife said they're losing 7-0. So she said, go ahead and finish the meeting. You're fine. So Perryville's gotten good this year in soccer, so apparently. But we got them in football, didn't we?
Yeah, we got them.
Yeah, we got them Friday. What was the score?
See here, hold on a second. I have it up ready to go.
19.
Pop microphone. Since we last met, I was going to say this under my comments, but since we last met, we beat Aberdeen 24-20. We beat Falston 28-8, which was probably one of our tougher games. And then we beat Perryville 19-16 to get the Susky Bowl trophy back once again. And so our main rivals, Aberdeen and Perryville, have gone down. And upcoming, we have Edgewood, which is going to be tough. But for homecoming, we got Bow Manor, the same record as us. And then Rising Sun and Northeast are stinking up the place with 0-5 records, I think, 0-4. So we've got them. So.
All right, sounds good. Well, we did get Aberdeen in soccer, but Perryville got us in varsity soccer. But anyway, there's only a couple games left. But thanks for your patience, everybody. And just a couple comments. Want to remind everybody, this weekend, right at the Concord Point, will be the Oktoberfest, the annual city-run Oktoberfest. That'll be 12 till whenever, I don't know. What? 7? Yeah, 12 to 7. All right. I never stayed the whole time. Anyway, Oktoberfest at Concord Point Park. And again, it's free admission. Just come down and hang out and have a great time with your family. There's going to be lots of stuff for kids. There's going to be arts and crafts. There's going to be vendors. There's going to be a great time. A lot of food selections and excellent choice of beverages, both foreign and domestic. So please come down and help us out. Also, this is something that we've been talking about for a while, and through a lot of various reasons, it's been taking almost like 6 years to complete this, but we have talked about the city of Havre de Grace selling water to our sister city down the road, Aberdeen. And the idea was cemented onto paper in 2018. The terms were negotiated in 2019, and then through various hiccups, world plagues and pandemics and the price of goods going up and the supply chain getting disruptive in construction, and then when all that's done, then you're tweaking things like chlorine levels and all this other stuff and pump PSI pressures. And anyway, long story short, this past Thursday we finally turned on the spigot to the city of Aberdeen, and the water is flowing. And so that is a great, it should be a good revenue source for the city's Fund 9, because we have the capacity to not only meet the needs of Havre de Grace right now, of our citizens, but we have some excess water to sell. And so, and Aberdeen needs our water, so it works out good for us, for our Fund 9, and it works out good for the city of Aberdeen. And so, like I said, we will keep everybody updated, but it's finally on. So if you've been following city council meetings since season 4, and now season 10, you're wondering, where is that? I heard about this selling water Aberdeen. Well, we're finally doing it. And lastly, I just want just to put in everyone's subconscious real quick, our fellow American citizens in this country whose lives have been completely disrupted by Hurricane Helene. Those pictures coming out of western North Carolina and Georgia are just horrific. And I've heard stories of school being, closed indefinitely, which probably the kids don't mind that. But it's just, the whole life is disruptive. Everything is about restoring power, but there's no power lines. There's no poles. You can't get running water because all the underground water pipes have been washed away. We're not talking about just cleaning up. We're talking about rebuilding. I can't even imagine, what they're going through. I mean, we sit here in Maryland and watch the news or listen to the news, and we try to have empathy. I mean, I try to have empathy. I'm sure everyone up here does. I mean, what would we do if that happened to the city of Havre de Grace? But it's horrible. It really is. And, the folks on the, the bend of Florida got messed up pretty bad too. And then you got another hurricane coming. It went from a 35-mile-an-hour tropical depression to a Category 5 in 24 hours. And that's called Hurricane Milton. Did it even name anybody Milton anymore? I keep thinking like Milton Berle, right? Anyway, but so Hurricane, that'd be a great name to retire, Hurricane Milton. But it's heading to Florida, and I have, we all know people who live in Florida, and we have some friends who live south of Sarasota, and they're right now currently in the bullseye. And can you imagine the citizens of Florida sitting in their homes tonight that are completely functional, clean, air-conditioned, knowing within a matter of days it's going to be gone, and there's nothing you do to stop it? It's crazy. So, like I said, this I only bring this up just to put everybody's subconscious to say a little prayer tonight for good luck and good things to happen to our fellow American citizens that don't have it as good as we do this evening in the city of Havre de Grace. So, with that said, thank you for allowing me to drop a few comments. And we're going to go to the comments of our council members, and we're going to start with Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, city staff, ladies and gentlemen here and at home. Just one quick thing, and that's to reiterate something that Director Ritchie had mentioned, and that's the Youth Commission is sponsoring a laser tag event at the Star Center this Friday from 6 to 9. Tickets are $8. It's geared for kids ages 11 to 17, so middle school, high school range. Again, laser tag, $8, kids 11 through 17, Friday, 6 to 9. Tickets are available online at starcentermd.com, and you can pay at the door. And Mr. Mayor, that's it.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Robertson. And comments from Councilmember Booker. Good evening.
Mayor, council, directors, citizens who are still with us, and those who are at home. I'll keep my comments short. I will let you know that downtown is open, right? So go downtown, Havre de Grace. The construction is ongoing. However, you can still visit the shops, the restaurants, and kind of help them out a little bit, if you will, right? So it kind of makes the Cat Club a little difficult going down there, picking up some trash, but that's okay. We've expanded our routes a little bit. So, but I just want to encourage those to just kind of pardon the dust, so to speak. But the doors are open, and I'm sure the merchants will welcome you with open arms. The second thing I have is I want to echo what the Chief of Administration, Chris Rickey, had said about the congratulations to Director Johnson for the first Friday and your staff, Lori. That's pretty good, pretty amazing how you can pull that off. And it seems like there's more and more people coming in light of the construction. So maybe just despite the construction, perhaps, right? So hats off to you. And as I always do, I want to thank the Susquehanna Host Company, the police department, the first responders, and EMS for keeping us safe at night. When you hear that alarm go off, you know that they're brave men and women out there taking care of us. So I'm very fortunate. I also want to echo the sentiments from Mayor Martin. That's devastating. I've been to combat six, 7 times. I forgot the number, and that's a complete war zone. And so it's just horrific. I'm sure my fellow veterans up here can attest to that as well. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boger. Good evening, Councilmember Jones.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I have no comments tonight.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Jones. And good evening, Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone, sticking around. I want to just jump on what Johnny said. This weekend, I was downtown and shopping around, and it was great to see so many people out supporting the businesses, supporting the restaurants, buying things. I saw lots of people with bags. I also saw a lot of people attending the Pride Festival, and that was a huge event for us as well. Again, where I live, everybody parks. And I was out gardening, and as people were going into their cars on their, like finishing up for the day, I was asking them how they liked the event. And everybody was just glowing about how wonderful it was, how it was a positive atmosphere, a positive spirit there, and how much they appreciate and love the city of Havre de Grace for this event. So thank you to everybody that had a bit of a part of it, and everybody who just is so accepting of everybody within our community. I want to thank Fred Wills for coming and talking about the Thanksgiving committee dinner. It is one of those just amazing, wonderful experiences. If you've never done it before and you're here on Thanksgiving, just giving a couple of hours to help out the community, serving 1,000 meals this year, and it takes an army of people who just descend in the morning and somehow, through the miracle of community, get all those meals plated and distributed out through our larger community. And it's, yes, it's not just the city of Havre de Grace that distributes it, and it's not just the city of Havre de Grace that people come in to do who are volunteer. It's how the city of Havre, how the community of Havre de Grace reaches out to the rest of the community to let everybody know that even though on Thanksgiving, if you're alone, you're not forgotten, and we're going to make sure that you have a nice hot meal. So it's just a wonderful experience. I encourage everyone to either volunteer or, like Fred said, if you'd like to make a donation, we could absolutely use the assistance. And finally, I look forward to it's one of my favorite things, the homecoming parade. My favorite thing to do is just to sit along the path of the parade and just watch the kids in their glory, just enjoying the fact that they live in Havre de Grace and they're celebrating their homecoming. It's just a great time. So if you are home on Thursday, I highly encourage you to step out, step alongside, and the kids love throwing candy at you. It's probably the only time as an adult I've ever had candy thrown at me at that amount. So enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer. And good evening, Councilmember Shenegis.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Administration, and citizens here in the audience and at home. I want to say happy fall, and I want to share some beautiful information about some of our citizens. I had the honor of going to the Hartford Most Beautiful People Awards ceremony, and our very own Betty Curry Phillips was honored. She repurposes used wreaths and materials and gives them away and has, over the years, 1,200 wreaths to this date. She is selfless in her acts of giving and kindness, and what truly makes our community beautiful is people like Miss Betty. And in addition, David Donovan was also awarded one of the most beautiful people. He has been an active member of the Havre Grace Ambulance Corps. I want to thank David for his beautiful commitment to the safety and well-being of Hartford County citizens. It's wonderful how Hartford County is so big, and we are a city that is pretty large itself, but it's wonderful that when you step out of your own home and you go out into the county, that you still are brought back home to Havre Grace by the people. It's lovely. I want to thank everyone that attended the Pyrex Festival. That is a part of continuing to give back to our downtown. During the construction, it was well attended, and the branches of people going out into the community, into the downtown stores was wonderful to see, and it's a tradition that brought back some wonderful nostalgic feelings to people in our community and people that came here to visit and sell their wares. But it just brought back that nice feeling, and that's what home is like. And many people of Havre Grace were born and raised here. People around the world know about Pyrex, but it's just wonderful that we were able to celebrate it here in Havre Grace and to have a store that services it year-long at Joe Retro. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful fall. I look forward to seeing you October 17th, if not sooner. Have a great evening. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenegis. Appreciate the comments. And we're going to go to the Council President.
Mr. Mayor, Council, citizens all. Going back to football, the Havre Grace High School team for homecoming, which is the 17th, they're going to be preparing in the old high school gym and then coming across Juniata like we did in the old days, like I did when I played football and many others in the community. I'll be reaching out to you, Chief, to see if we can get Juniata shut down like we used to have, because we don't shut it down anymore. So they're concerned about that, at least for them, while they come over before 7 o'clock. So they'll be playing against Bow Manor for that on the 17th, which is a Thursday. The last Thursday game we had was very sparsely attended because everybody forgot that it was on a Thursday, not a Friday. So I'm putting that out there. Make sure Thursday is homecoming. It'll be my 30th year homecoming, so high school reunion, which I'm actually missing this week. I'll be camping with the Boy Scouts in Gettysburg. So that's all right. I know everybody anyways. I've seen them before. For rec football, I had a great day on Saturday. My son and I worked for 12 hours in the booth from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. as announcers, and I like it because I've got the loudest speaker system in Havre Grace, but man, it's a long, long day. Did you hear the music at your house? Yes. Awesome.
My husband was sitting there, and he's like, "What is that sound?" I'm like, "It's Jimmy."
I love it. I've got a whole football playlist, and we were adding songs, and it was a great time. But I really enjoy that and giving back. My son doesn't play rec football anymore, so I can still get back to the program and help out. And we do need volunteers. So we'll talk next year about trying to get your kids out there to play football. It's a lot safer than they're portraying. But lastly, I'd like to finish up by congratulating our Maryland State girls champion soccer coach, Leah Cottagio, for being named the, let me see here what it's called, the MPSSAA, which is the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association, National Federation of State High School Association Girls Soccer Coach of the Year. So that just came out. So it's notified of that today, and that she was named Coach of the Year for girls soccer for Maryland State. And that is well-deserved. She's a fabulous coach. The girls love her. She does a really good job. And, couldn't be happier than to have her coaching the girls. So with that, Warrior proud, Grace on top.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Council President. We're going to go to item 18, which is adjournment. We have a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilmember Jones, seconded by Councilmember Schnagus. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to adjourn, carries 6-0 in the affirmative. The time is now 8:30 p.m. Everybody have a good week or two. We'll see you back here on October 21st. Take care, everybody. Thank you.